Let's try this. Am I connected? Extremely happy in Taipei. That's not what I want to say. I'm live. Okay, looks like I'm live now. I just want to double check. Let's go to my videos and see if I can hear myself, and then I will tell you what I want to say. I don't see it here. Let's go into manage videos and go over to this live here. Still nothing? Still nothing. It says I'm live. I saw that. It says right there, live, 23 seconds. Okay, can I hear myself?
Yeah. I just want to double check.
All right, I can hear myself. Well, let's just assume this is working. It looks like there's a little bit of a lag. Let's try that thing one more time, and then we'll probably end up cutting this off. This video, there we go. Okay, I'm not extremely happy in Taipei. I'm trying to do a prehistory podcast. Let's try to change the details and then do one more time. Live streaming. Okay, let's end the stream. Oh, hi. Well, I'm going to end the stream and come back. So, let's, yeah. I mean, how many people I got? I have 3 viewers. Okay, let me go ahead and show you the material. Here we are at the richat structure. But I've got some photographs I want to show you. Where are my pictures? Is that my pictures? Pictures. Did I... Oh. No. Not there. Let's do it here. Let me do it right here. Okay, there you go. Now, I created this. This is not the richat structure. Why? Because I added the part that's missing. As you can see, there's 4 quadrants, and what you can see is almost exactly on the north side is an opening, and on the east side there's an opening. On the west side there was an opening, but this is not true. I faked it. That's fake. Here's the real thing. And if you look here, you can see that you've got basically a big, huge crater that removed mountains. The mountains are gone. I mean, that crater was a strike right in the center of the richat structure. It's very circular. If you look at it, you can see the circular ridge here, and I believe it kind of curves right around here. It misses this mountain, and it's almost a perfect circle, but it's more of an ellipse, as you can see. Also, don't forget, this satellite photography could have been taken at an angle, so we don't really know what it looks like straight up and down perfectly. One thing I wanted to say is there's another crater right over here, and if you're not sure where that is, it's over to the left. Now, I just want to make it clear that the reason why I'm doing this video, okay, so that is right here, and this picture is kind of cool. Somebody sent it to me, and of course those aren't waterways, but you can see really clearly that the 4 quadrants in the middle are really just 3 quadrants, and it's almost a perfect circle right there. You can see it. I'll zoom in a little more. But the thing that I want to make clear is that you've got these mountains missing, just like the crater at Serpent Mound. Let me go over there now and I'll show you. Now actually it's right here. This is the real McCoy, where you can probably get it at an angle. If you want to zoom in there, you can see this ridge, you can see the ridge over here, you can see the missing mountains. And then if we go in and we search Serpent Mound, a serpent mound, that also has an ancient crater. Now, you kind of have to zoom out a little bit for Serpent Mound. Serpent Mound is right here, and it's inside a crater, but the crater is so old you can barely see it. But what you see from the crater here is you also have missing mountains. So I was looking at this over the weekend, and I thought this is going to be my next live stream video. I'm going to have to change the name. I'm not happy in Taipei. I'm doing prehistory talking, and unfortunately, because the title was changed for some reason, also my key was changed. I had to reset a few things. Now you can basically see the missing mountains here. I know that it's kind of hard to see, but what you do have is the later created mountains right here that it came through, and they're only about 1,000 feet high. So the other ones here with the snow caps, that's not really snow, it's just the highest altitude in the topographical map. I'm looking at en-us.topographic-map.com. If you go there, you should be able to see that, and you can set the layers. You can put in the some other imagery here, and so you can see it again. This is a very old crater. I don't know how old it is, but Serpent Mound is in the middle of it, and so you kind of know that you're talking about a really, really old crater. So let's get back to this. Here's a picture of the crater that's on a draw in Mauritania. Look at the cliff that's right there. What happens is the crater, and I'll go out. I'm trying to find this other picture here. Let me go to the original picture. I don't want to go online, but there's a little tiny circle right here. Everybody noticed it, and I thought, wow, that's really not a crater. But you know, the thing is that the width of this circle is the same width as this circle. So the question is why is it so different? It's actually been filled with sediment and then collapsed like a cake that collapsed in the oven. There's a picture of it right there. It's got the cliffs, and then it's got a center area that's sunken in as well. But the real crater is out here. So when you look at that, you have to start here, and you can see that it's been kind of filled in with sediment, but again collapsed. It's quite a significant landmark there, and I really think that it's important to note that when I believe that the richat structure was created, by the way, I mean, if you go by what Plato said, it's by men. This is a draw Mauritania right here. So you can see the differences in elevation. The middle is almost 2,000 feet high, off of sea level, and then it goes as low as down to 1890. So it's really, we're only talking about 100 feet difference. I mean, actually a little bit less. So it's very, very slight, but you can still get in there, and you can probably fall down. And it looks like it's really soft dirt. I think that we need to rethink this whole dome geology. And this is the picture that I used in my thumbnail. If anything, this land was very concentric, just like this lightning strike on this car. Now, I've looked up some lightning strikes on cars, and I've seen a lot of different results. Crashed in windshields. It's really not pretty. Wouldn't want that to happen to me. But when you look at this simple strike and the simple rings that come from it, makes me think that the concentric circles that are at the richat structure could have been created by some type of giant. I mean, look, if the gods made it, if the kings made it, they probably didn't have this power, but Zeus threw electric bolts, right? Look at those perfect rings, almost exactly the same as the richat structure. Somebody asked me if I was trolling, and I only put that as my thumbnail last time because it was inside the conversation that I had. Oops, let me see if I can get in here and see if there's any questions. I didn't want to make this too long because where is it? I lost it? Where's my... How irritating is that? Must be right here, right? Is it here? Yes? Hello? I am a painter. I do paint. I was painting, but this stream is about the richat structure and the different strikes that I believe took out so-called Atlantis. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm streaming. The title, Extremely Happy in Taipei, is a little misleading. So, and I'm looking at how late it is. Look at how slow this thing goes. I think I need to change my refresh or something. So that's it. I mean, I definitely am learning a lot by listening to Graham Hancock's different ebooks. I'm going to go look those up right now. I see if I can find one. I don't want to get myself into trouble by showing off all of my different things here, but if you go to the audiobooks here, you can see at archive.org, you're able to grab this episode of America Before, and he talks about Serpent Mound quite extensively in the beginning. He talks about so many things, and it's the audiobook. It's quite long. I mean, the first chapter is almost 17 minutes. Some chapters are over half hour. And what I would do is, if I were you, is to go ahead and listen to the last chapter. Can I get... Oh, it's right there. Chapter, The Key to Earth Lost Civilization. Now, if you're interested in more books, there's a couple of other books down here. I would suggest listening to the intro and the last chapter of each one. Really learned a lot. I think Magicians of the Gods is talking about Gobekli Tepe. And the Fingerprints of the Gods is talking about basically some really deep stuff and the origin of the pyramids. There's a few others here, and I couldn't find them when I just got back from northern Taiwan, and I'm looking at these other... This isn't him? Okay, so I guess what you need to do is you need to click on GM, or where did I find that before? You can go here and click on Graham Hancock and get a bunch of stuff. And there's a couple of fiction books he wrote. See, this was the one I was looking for, and I couldn't find it, The Message of the Sphinx. So I'm going to, first of all, is it an ebook? Because I just want to listen to it. If it's not an ebook, then... And yes, these are free. So would advise that you can take a look at that. See if I can find this conversation. Well, hi there, netizen, and thanks for your comments again, and thanks for your thumbs up. If you gave me 3 likes, 6 concurrent viewers. I have been, basically, I think Graham Hancock says it all. Anything that I can do is, I think the thing that I found is this. If you go to the Adrar, a lot of people have not acknowledged that's a crater. Plato wrote about Atlantis. We've gone over this a million times, but I might as well summarize it for you, netizen. This is the Pillars of Hercules, and he said beyond the Pillars of Hercules, everybody thinks it's out here, but to be honest, I think that if you look at a map of the Atlantic Ocean and the striations that you see coming from it, there's no place that could have really been as big as Plato mentioned. But what people don't know is that here there was a river called the Tamanrasset, and it separated these two bodies of land and could have been the so-called island that Plato was talking about. If you look closely, you can still see residual mud here. If you look at the real map, you'll see that. I believe that this river separated northern Africa or Libya from southern Africa, which they were calling Atlantis. And the richat structure is inland a little bit, but there was a major river, there's major lakes, and I don't want to get into it now. You can check out my older videos that talk about this. Yeah, I do love carpentry, and I do love painting. Well, I don't love painting that much, but I do it. I'm skilled at most home redecoration tasks. And here in Taiwan, you don't get the... why is this not resetting? It's like if I were... Can I just get it to there? Can I get the topographic going? Alright, anyways. I do also... I have been exposed to Atlantis my whole life through family members. And I'm not a big UFO buff. I believe that... everything Graham Hancock says, I believe. He has citations in his book. And there's thousands of them. And you... can't say he's just making it up. Just saying. Well, netizen, it all started... No, I discovered the Eye of Africa, and I was trying to show that to you just now, but it didn't reset. Here it is here in this picture. And these concentric circles here, according to Plato, were man-made. Now, science says it's dome geology, but I haven't seen any other examples of dome geology that it's like this. Also, up in the top right corner, and I'll zoom in on that, you've got a very interesting circular arc up here. I know that doesn't look really convincing like a circle, but what I think is that, by the way, there is a canal going here about 4 miles all the way to about here. It's definitely a short little canal, but it's very, very wide. And I think that Plato even wrote about that as well. Now, there are other canals going across the structure. I think you should take a look at these straighter lines here, but even more down here, you can't see them. There's other, what I call canals that exist from, say, 12,900 years ago. Now, Atlantis, according to Plato, was destroyed 12,900 years ago, which correlates with a Younger Dryas event. Now, some people say it was one big strike. Some people think it was several. I think that there was a strike here, which kind of got covered up by sand. And there was a strike here, which totally got filled up because now it's more of a floodplain, and you've got alluvial fans on top of it. If I go into Google Earth right now, and I'd like to do that very quickly. I guess I have to do it in my browser. If I go to Google Earth, you can see how flat that is. It's just filled in water. I mean, I do believe in the flood. I'm not a big Christian or Bible prophet, but I do think that we had some major... See, here we go, looking at the Eye of Africa. And I discovered this by myself about 11 years ago, but it was only until that Bright Insight video that they made the connection with what Plato had written, and I started to do research. I believe that this was a strike. Where are those mountains? If you look at the topographical map I just showed you, you'll see the 3 quadrants left over, but a total quarter, 25% of these mountains were... I mean, if it's dome geology, it should be equal, and it should be a circle. Personally, I think that this has been destroyed by flooding and destroyed by whatever it was that took Atlantis out. Yes, Herodotus mentioned that this area was called Atlantis or Atlanteas. The words that he uses slightly different. Some people think that it's out here. There's an underground plateau right there. It's called it was called there's 2 of them. One of them is called the Plateau, but this is just too small. And this weird mountain, it shows you can't see anything. If this was Atlantis, you'd be looking at a larger area that's covering the striations from this suture or mid-Atlantic ridge. You see these lines? These lines are millions of years old, and I don't think that it would just get covered up. Also, Plato did make reference to what's called the Diver Islands. So if there's a Diver Island and then there's the island of Atlantis, then the Diver Islands must be smaller, and so he does make reference to those. And according to the story in Critias, you can see that this area was given to King Atlas's brother, and this one was given to King Atlas. Now, I don't know if you can really see it here, but the river Tamanrasset went right through here and out there. It zipped over here. I know that looks like a mountain, but I guess that's just as flat as over down here. And personally, when you look at this eye, you can see the residual. I mean, let me put it on 3D so you can see. That was a lake. This was sediment that evaporated over time. That lake went against the shore, and this part got covered by sand. We don't know how wide this lake was. This water covered the entire northern side of the mountain, and when you examine it, you can see how the sand has come through there. When you examine it more clearly, you can, let me just put it back to north. You can see that this could have come, it's covered by sand, but this canal right here, right there, I mean, how straight is that? And what happened to the mountain? Why is it cutting? No mountain grows straight like that. So this could have been the Grand Canal that Plato mentioned. There's some kind of a weird arc here that was possibly man-made. Of course, it's eroded quite a bit over the last 12,000 years, but I think that this was part of the system that brought water around. This is probably where it came through right here, and around to the front of this, and it filled everything with water. And you had your concentric circles. There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, look at this right here. I gotta find it first. I guess it's right there. I mean, what is that? That's bigger than Stonehenge. Those are stones, and those rocks are like 5 meters wide. Were they already there? Have they been there for 12,000 years? I don't know about that. They kind of seem a little off. But if you know about Bright Insights videos, he introduces the castle. I don't believe the castle had anything to do with Atlantis, but I think that this was a Spanish fort or a French fort. There's some other stuff over here that needs to be looked at. Something's going on here. It's an antiquity. This is, and of course what I just showed you. And there's one more of those. If you take a look, wait, let me back out and find it. Oh, it's way out here. So this would be the east end of the concentric rings, and this is like a little mountain ridge here. And what I wanted to show you is, let me find it again. There's the first one there. That's when you look at it at an angle like this, you can kind of see the pathway that leads over here, and you can follow it, and you can find this other one that's right here. Where is it? I lost it because I'm not north, so I got confused. Where is that? So there's that one. So this one is right around. I lost it. Let me just go to 2D real quick, and then I'll find it. So there's that one. So the other one's right here. So there is this other one right here. Now, what they are, I don't know. But you can see there's a lot of different. This looks like an older version of the same thing, like and it's bigger than Stonehenge. It's not a henge. There's also these rocks here. These are not very clear, but there's a crescent of large rocks, and I think you might say, oh, that's nothing. But you can look and find more of these crescents of rocks out here. There's another one right there. This is some type of a pattern that was definitely not naturally created, artificial. You've got these rocks. It's like a little moon. And so I think that might have some relationship with the other shape. There's actually one more. I can't. And who knows? There it is right there. These things were definitely put there, maybe just to hold animals. Who knows? But we need to get down there and take a look. Mauritania is a Muslim country, and it's a kingdom, I guess. I'm not sure. Got to double check on the politics, but there's definitely. Okay, let me. Whoops. It's definitely a lot to look at here, and we need to get in there. I'll show you those canals. Are you still here, Nedison? Well, I understand, and well, we've got the. Oh, that's the other thing about. Okay, I'm reading Nedison. I'm reading your comments, and it's the other thing about the Graham Hancock book. If you get into the one called Underworld, and I was listening to this last, he's talking about the. Is it Yonagoya? Underwater. Near Taiwan, very close to Taiwan. It's still in Japan, technically, near that island, but it's right here. And this is not, I don't think this is the Atlantis everybody's looking for, but it is a civilization that used to exist until it got the water flooded out. Now, if you don't know about Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, what I've learned is that we used to have different. Can I zoom in? Okay, so the ice ages. You say, hey, when was the last ice age? Well, 11,500 years ago, we had our last ice age. People say that there was nobody in North America, but the truth is that they've got proof that 130,000 years ago, humans were going after the mammoths. And so if 130,000 years ago, I mean, people think, oh, what's the oldest civilization? Well, if you look at my other video, you'll see Sumer was one of the first civilizations about 6,000 years ago. So 130,000 years, and then you've got this ice age that melted the ice sheets and made them create higher levels of seawater. There's the before, there's the after. I don't understand why I can't zoom in on that. Frustrating. But if that's the truth, then of course humanity had a chance to create civilizations. I mean, if we did it in like 10,000 years, of course at 130,000 years ago, we could have done it more than just once. And if humanity was reset by the strikes and fragments of a comet that hit Earth and reset humanity 12,900 years ago, then why couldn't it have happened before that? So Atlantis marker, Plato's year, he says 9,000 years ago, but he was 2,000 something years before. It all adds up to about 12,900, 12,800. So if this is all possible, why can't we... These are some other pictures. Now, this is the beginning of an ice age, but of course we know that humans probably weren't around 2.4 million years ago. Maybe a million years ago we had humans, right? Or humanoids or hominids. So if you really take into consideration the amount of time that we've had to go through, you can see that I think it's very easy to assume that oh, by the way, in the Sahara Desert wasn't a desert that long ago. It was almost like a forest, like not quite a jungle. And this whole area was covered with trees. Now it's just sand. It's just dirt. And if we go there and look at it now, we see it looks like it's nice and soft. And actually that mountain looks like it's got a lot of potential. I'm looking for my, well, let's see what the comments say. Let me just close all these because they're very confusing. I had a hard time getting started, and I'm probably, oops, I'm watching some TV, and I probably, okay, here we go. All right, look at all these comments. No, I don't think that they had, I don't think the technology was like we have today. I think that the technology that existed was probably something like I was listening to Hancock about this. Horses to spaceships is only 100 years or so. Okay, so MK, that's a good point. And I believe any UFO, right, exactly. In 100 years we've gone from horses to going onto the moon. And if we can do that in 100 years, what's to stop humanity from doing it in 10,000 years? So, or even longer. Now, so if Atlantis was taken out 12,900 years ago, then that means that it must have existed for 20,000 years before then. I did a video about the age of the Sphinx. I looked at the procession of the equinox and I counted the degrees for each one. I think that if you want to take a look at my numbers again, I can pull those up. I got a bunch of stuff. I'm not just a painter. I teach. I've been teaching English in Taiwan for 25 years practically. I'm looking for my Excel. It's not really Excel, is it? And I messed up and I didn't use Randall Carlson's numbers. I tried to redo it. But according to this, and I can't really make it bigger. I guess I can do it this way. According to this, you can see that the Pisces, it's a pretty big. It's got 41 degrees. So I'm going to make that a little smaller. Pisces is a little bit smaller, 41 degrees. The largest one is Virgo, and it takes 3,200 years for that to cross, according to stellarium. I think that the Sphinx was a lion, and so that means that it was either 11,900 years ago, right? That's after the Younger Dryas event, but right after. Or if we go even farther back, it was 38,700 years ago. That's the beginning. Now the end of that, by the way, the numbers that I heard from Graham Hancock was 3,000 to 10,000 years ago. But as you can see, going back up, it doesn't add up. See, Cancer is only 10 degrees. So when we talk about the age of Cancer, we're talking about 720 years. That's the shortest one. Leo is 38 degrees, so it lasted 2,700 years. So anytime within that point, I counted back. Pisces, and by the way, adding to 2020 for right now, we've got that plus another 1,000 years. Actually, no, this is wrong. Wait. The total number for Pisces is 2952. Pisces started on Christ's birthday. And so Jesus was born in, the year 0. So was the age of Pisces begun. Before that was Aries. Now that's only 15 degrees. So 1,000 years plus that. I'm not getting the right numbers here. Sorry. The reason why is I plugged in. I did it first using the Wikipedia number, and then I tried to redo it. So Pisces was 2020. So 2020 plus this number is 3,094. These numbers are a little bit different from the one I just showed you. So I was just adding this up, but as you can see here, actually Graham Hancock's numbers ring true. It's 10,900 years ago. But, I do believe Randall Carlson more than I believe Wikipedia, so I started to redo it with the number 25,920. That's the length of a great year, and he has a very logical explanation of why he can get that number, divided by 4. Anyways, where are we? 130,000 years. Well, MK, it's funny that you mentioned that. I believe that we probably have a chance that the UFOs that are seen today are flown by ancient humans, or I shouldn't say an ancient human, of course, but a race that was around a long time ago, including, and by the way, if I'm still researching the Book of Enki and the Equinox, am I saying it right? It doesn't sound right. Anunnaki? I said it wrong. But the race that may have created us by genetically changing us so we could be their slaves. I heard that during the Younger Dryas events and other events, they were well aware it was going to happen, and they got out of Dodge. I mean, they probably knew where to hide. They probably knew where to go, what to do, and they got out of Dodge and they left us to our own. I think that Graham Hancock did a great job of going over it, but we're talking about thousands and thousands of years. Anunnaki? Let's just say that I have an open mind. I'm not going to bet my life on anything. I'm not even going to bet my life that this is a crater. But what happened to the mountains? Okay, don't be slow. What happened to the mountains if it's dome geology? We have the middle dome, cool. And we have the ring out here that's complete. We have another ring that's kind of decayed. But what about this? This has got to be like the newest mountains in the dome geology, and we're missing a whole quadrant. That was a crater strike. That's a crater, but it filled with sediment. You can see the alluvial fans that filled it up. If you go to my Google Earth map. Where is it? Here? Here. Not there. I was going to show Nedison these canals right here. Look at this canal. Where is it? Okay. I got to point it north so I can see it. Alright. It's right here. Now, I know that one looks kind of ragged, but that's like 20 kilometers long, and it's in such a straight line. And here, by the way, those are parallel lines. So if you put this, so it goes up and down. This one over here, it's not as up and down as it was. Well, okay, I'm getting I got to go to 2D. There we go. Let me do that one more time. See, it messed it all up, the 3D. But if you put it up against the side of the window, you can see that this goes straight up and down there, and then this goes straight up and down there. Now, why it's pointed in that direction, I don't know. This thing is almost a perfect canal. And I think that there were, of course, many more canals. I think that this thing here, this thing here might even be some type of a man-made canal. If you look at what Plato wrote, it seems like this could have been the thing that Plato was referring to. I don't remember the exact words he used. Also down here, if you go from the eye south and go down here, you can find some other interesting canals. I'll show you one that looks like a sword. Got to find it first. But yeah, there it is right there. Look at that one. I mean, you definitely have a river that broke through and breached it. But what is with this straight line? It starts here and it goes through and it cuts through the mountains here and all the way across over here. It goes on and on. I mean, that's one long, sharp sword that's breached by two rivers. You know that means that this is older than those rivers, right? So why do you have a straight line like that? And there's more. There's a lot more. You got a lot more. And these things are kind of weird. I don't know how they can be natural, but I'm not a geologist, so I kind of am wondering about these, whether or not they were entrance points to canals that turned into these crevices over time. There's some other ones over here that go through the mountains in a weird way. So I think this could be the southern end, and there's one more here. They're all in the same direction, right? So let me make that up and down. When you make this up and down, I mean, were they going straight to the previous ocean? I'm not going to be perfect about this. I'm kind of trying to save time. Those lines are the same direction. So I don't know what that could have been, but why is it going straight through that mountain right there? How is that created? I mean, yeah, it could be natural, but there's just so many of these. There's a couple of other ones that I don't really want to waste too much time showing you. There's some weird one. This one was kind of weird. It goes here, it goes across. You can see this line going across this floodplain. Then it re-enters here. So what is with this line, and why is it so... I mean, I'll point it north. This is north. So why is that line so going across this floodplain? What was there that... I mean, that I would say is a dam, because this is an empty lake. That's a dry lake bed. And maybe they made a dam in the dry lake bed. So these are all things that I like to think about in my spare time. Yeah, and when you go here, you can see that there's one here. Look at this one. That goes across, and it's completely... Let me just back out a little bit more, and then let me turn this. If you look at that, it goes right across. Was there some type of a canal there that got bombarded with flood? And then, by the way, I think that looks kind of like a dog. Obviously, that's just a natural formation. But you can see this line here, and then if you keep following it, it kind of cuts over, and then you see this line is the same as that line, that's the same as that line. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in here that I'm kind of curious about. All right, let me just say that I don't have much more to say. Well, you know, what really helps me focus on and get focused on this so-called rabbit hole is the Graham Hancock. I listened to the whole Before America. It goes into quite a lot of detail, and neither Randall, Carlson, or Graham Hancock believe that Atlantis was located in the richat structure. I'd like to have a conversation with them about it. Yeah, those lines are definitely... I mean, who knows when they were created? They could have been created in the last 100 years. my thing about the whole richat structure, according to Plato, is that it was done. Did I save this? It was done. According to Plato, this was man-made, and Plato's concentric circles are a little bit smaller than this. This is 50 miles across. But when you think about how fast this was made, and it was made in the speed of light. Well, I should say this is made in the speed of lightning. And you've got something like this. If you know what a Carrington event is, or a Carrington effect, you know that this could have been created naturally within minutes. The squatting man, people know this symbol. I don't want to look it up right now, but they see this thing. It could have been that Carrington event that people have been talking about for years and years. Okay, with that said, I'm just going to finish up by looking at your comments and seeing what is left over to talk about if you have any questions. Yeah, there's a lot of lines in the desert, and everybody knows that there's also a lot of civilizations that used to be there in the desert as well. So, with that being said, what are we going to do? We're going to acknowledge that there was a reset in civilization 12,900 years ago, and maybe we should be focusing a little more on how to protect ourselves. Been listening to the meaning of 2012 and the meaning of 2030 and the Taurids coming from nearby the Orion. And then, of course, there's not really a schedule to my streams. I try to do, lately when I return to Taipei, I do stuff like this. When I go out of Taipei and go north, I do walking around in nature. Nah, what? Nah, you don't want to listen to randall. I don't know what nah is referring to. But, yeah, I think that, or nah, you don't want to acknowledge that humanity was reset. I mean, according to Graham Hancock, it's now evidential. It's proof. Personally, I have not ever seen a UFO. My mom would like to tell me that I have, but I disagreed with her, and she disregarded this. And what I think is that we have to take into consideration the distance between our planet and other possible planets. If we believe that there was life on Mars before, when I say life, I mean hominoids or ET that we could communicate with, like, I don't want to say 2 legs and 2 arms. We've got certain things about fish, we've got certain things about reptilians. I don't know. But if we really take that into consideration, I think that the best chance of UFOs is... Oh, I see. Well, thank you, Nedison. Yeah, it's just that I think there's a little bit of a lag. So what I say doesn't happen according to this. So I don't know. It's not. Unfortunately, I'm using OBS, and OBS is it's the, what do you call this thing? It's the system I use to basically share my live stream from my desktop. That's the big problem. And I dare not click this because I don't want you to see my webcam. I'm sitting here looking like Jabba the Hutt. But I think the OBS slows down and there's a bit of a lag. And I don't know how to control all this yet. This is a new studio. I've never seen this before. Extremely happy in Taipei. Yes, I am. I'm free from the COVID. We wear masks, but their numbers are way, way down. If we take a look at the COVID numbers, and by the way, I don't necessarily trust Johns Hopkins University or the fact that they did a thing, but if we look at the growth rate here, we can see the global cases are going up, up, up. Just about a week ago, we've had the highest number, or the second highest number. I'm waiting for this to come up right here, the daily cases. is taking its sweet time. Oh yeah, you can see that just a couple days ago, about 4 days ago, we've had the highest global numbers. There's another one about 2 weeks ago on September 24th. And that's about 350,000 cases in one day. If we click on the U.S., which is what I care about, since that's where I want to eventually go back home. Asia is wearing on me, but as you can see, the USA, we're having maybe our third wave. The second wave was pretty big, right? We had our first wave, and then we had a second wave, and it's gone down, but now we're growing again. I mean, sure that these numbers are fluctuating, but we have this trend line. You can clearly see it. Taiwan, of course, if we go to Taiwan, go all the way down, 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 we've recently had a growth, but we're still, okay, so it's 5:30. We've had some growth here, but as you can see, this is the highest number in one day is 30. So safe and sound in Taiwan. We're wearing the masks. Everything's good. I don't have a full-time job. I was ready to go back to the USA, and suddenly COVID happened, and I kind of gave up on my plans. And right now the economy there's no jobs, and here I am in Taiwan without a job. So I'm doing part-time work, trying to get more carpentry, trying to do this. I'm talking to some people about some carpentry work, but because of this problem, I don't think I'll be coming back home anytime soon. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I've never seen a UFO, MK. I have, of course, seen some videos that are pretty interesting, and I do believe in unidentified flying crafts. Even the military has acknowledged their existence, so I think that we definitely can, put that to bed. But who's flying them, that's a different story. I think that it's somebody here. Or where are you, Nedison? Are you in Taiwan? I don't have citizenship in Taiwan. I've got an APRC. Where are you from? I guess you saw my painting. Were you talking about painting the walls, or are you talking about my art? Because I have been doing a lot of artwork here in Taiwan. Haven't done much recently. I'm kind of in a cramped space right now. I used to have a big shop. I used to do a lot of big art. Okay, I'm in Taipei. Where are you located? Are you on my Facebook? Definitely connect with me, and maybe we can meet, or we can even... I've got a registered company I'm ready to give up on. I'm looking for someone who needs a registered company so they can write receipts and do business here. I haven't really advertised it, but it's getting to the point where, especially because of COVID, I'm ready to give it up. You know, I used to think that I needed it to make money, but I've seen people working independently and making a lot of money without a company, under the table. It's like, I wanted it to be legal, but it seems like I can never reach that or attain that goal of getting my company off the ground. And now, since I'm broke, I just want to make videos and get paid. I get paid about $100 from YouTube every 4 months, 5 months. So, oh, is this not even monetized? Look at that. This is not even monetized. I guess I could put an ad right now. Go. There's my ad. Ad inserted. Okay, well, that's interesting. I've been doing this. How long is my video? It's almost 50 minutes. So, I don't know what else to say. I think I'm going to end this video right now. Definitely love talking about this. And then you go back and listen to these. I mean, this is free, archive.org. And I want to give Graham Hancock some money, because I think what he has to say is really important. I kind of lost this one book, The Message of the Sphinx. So I'm going to see if I can get this right now. Is it an ebook? I don't think so. So I'll have to look at the PDF. Definitely want to look at the PDF for the Fingerprints of the Gods. I think that it was a really great, conclusive chapter there. And I'm going to listen to it again right now. The Fingerprints of the Gods conclusive chapter gets deep into maybe what the pyramids are. Now, do I believe the pyramids were built 4,500 years ago? Well, let's just look at the structure. Yeah, they can do a pyramid 4,500 years ago, but the granite center of the pyramid is different. I think that the pyramid we see today was maybe built around a previous structure. And I think those previous structures might have been in the form of Orion's belt. I've always wondered about this. Didn't realize Graham Hancock talked about it until I listened to this just the other day. So definitely want to listen to it one more time, because I was working, I was painting, and I didn't have a chance to write anything down or take notes. And there's some stuff I want to talk about. I did not know that Graham Hancock was born in Scotland. Okay, guys, let me check your comments one more time. I see. Yeah, please say hello. My Facebook is in the description of most of my videos. Probably this one. I gotta double check all that. I'm gonna end the stream in a moment, and then I'm going to probably change my keywords and my description. So, and I'm gonna probably edit out the beginning of this video, because I was not sure what was going on. I had some problems. I'm not sure what was good. I was kind of unhappy to see this, but we'll see what it says when it's all done. Thanks, guys, for joining. I definitely enjoyed chatting with people live, and I would be happy to get a camera going in here. I got a little setup that it's kind of pretty, and I could even put a video monitor on the screen so people could see what I'm talking about next to my head. But I don't really want to set up like a newsroom or anything like that. But who knows? Okay, Nedison, thanks. MK, if you're still around, thank you so much. I know I only have 3 viewers now. Maybe the first one, Janet's still here. The second one is Nedison. And MK, no other comments. Thank you so much. Have a great day. If you have any comments that you want to say that you're in the middle of typing or something, please put it after this video, or even in one of my other ancient history videos. Prehistory. This is a prehistory. Okay, have a good one. And oh, I got a new viewer. Sorry, I'm about to sign off. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.